Wala, once again in front of you with an special guest for the purpose of interview and knowing from his life journey, his work, and what he is doing. So, uh, my specialties in SEO, search engine optimization, YouTube automation, WordPress, social media marketing, and few more. Uh, every day we are going with an other task. So today I am performing my own task. Has an interview with my special guest today. He is a well-known person, and what I will know from her, and just I am introduction for him. So today's guest is the true Renaissance force in the world of transformation, performance, and personal mastery. Bob Choat is the author of Mind Your Own Fitness, co-author of Unleashing Firepower, Masters of Business Excellence, and forthcoming Develop the Champion Within. He is the visionary founder behind Modern Lyceum Academy, Mind Hack Academy, and the Integrated Mind Institute. Known as the transformational Grandmaster, Bob's insight into peak performance have been featured in both print and online publications, and he's shared his message across major media platforms, including BC Cat, Talk Radio, Sirius XM, Hypnosis, Today TV, and more. With a background as a USA Marine in First Force Recon and former lab officer, Bob blends real-world grit with academic excellence, holding a PhD in psychology and certifications in everything from NLP to neurological hypnotherapy. He is also a fifth degree black belt in Campo, mastery of close quarter combat, and a stage hypnotist once known as Bobby Spat, the egg hypnotist. Currently, he is developing a powerful new SaaS app called Mystery X, found.
Yeah, technology, um, especially like in today's world and bandwidth issues and everything can happen. So apparently that's going on. Um, I want to thank Marine for the wonderful introduction, and I've been around for a long time, and I've seen technology change and so forth. And I can recall a long time ago when I was a teenager and back in high school studying old computer language called Fortran 4 and programming the IBM 360 computers at that time. And so from that technology to the current technology, it's been interesting. It's been an interesting journey for me. So if you haven't heard of Fortran 4, it's an old machine code, and I studied it when I was 16 years old, and this was back in 1968. So yeah, I'm dating my age. This is before I went in the Marine Corps. Then after the Marines, I joined the Los Angeles Police Department, LAPD. And so I did that for a few years before transitioning into the next phase of my life. And now
So,
we have Marine back. So yeah, I kept talking. So
okay. Okay, sir. I request you that you have to introduce in front of my audience. I also introduced
no, it's fine.
for you, but you have to introduce.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a good introduction what you did. I do a lot of different things, and that's part of like my introduction where you probably didn't hear. is that I also do parkour. So parkour, if you ever watch YouTube videos of these kids going over obstacles off of buildings, did you ever see that? So I do that. I've been doing it for like 19 years. And how old do you
Yes.
think I am, Wayne? Take a
Thank you
guess
so
my
much for.
age.
Uh, uh, I think so. 60 plus, 60 plus.
Close. Yeah, I'm 73, so that's close. Close enough.
Okay,
Yeah. And and
but
and I tell
but
people, go ahead.
you are looking young, sir. It is my guess, but you are looking young.
Well, one of the things I teach people is you shift your mindset and and the kind of beliefs, even though we do continue to age, that's not going to stop. Your beliefs, how you feel about yourself, is transformative. So if we believe that we can do something and then we work to do those things, whether it's going outside, building a business, making connections, being able to speak in public, um, being healthy and fit, and so forth, it's important to have that right mindset, and beliefs stem from that. In fact, there's research regarding beliefs is that beliefs are actually a physical part of our body. So when our own beliefs are being challenged, if we hold on strongly, it's like our own body is being attacked. So in order for us to shift the beliefs, we have to stand back. And I tell people, like, if you have beliefs that are like less than, that are not empowering, then this is where going outside of beliefs. So that's using your prefrontal cortex, this part of your brain, which is also known as executive function. And when you do that, you start to use reason, and you look at, are these beliefs real? Is there evidence based on those beliefs? And so I teach people to do those kind of things. It's also used in cognitive behavioral therapy and others, and it's been something that even the ancient philosophers have known. So challenging that, especially if you don't believe that you can do something, well, what says you can't do something? Is there evidence that says you can't do it? Maybe you have not done it. You haven't gone out and tested the waters on doing something, whether it's getting a PhD. Have So people that believe they believe that they can't get a PhD, why? Have you ever tried to get a PhD? Probably not. So I tell people, challenge it. Take that step. Eh, if there's no evidence that says you can't do something, then you need to start discarding it. You start breaking it down, and then those beliefs will come collapsing down. On the other hand, if you want to build up positive beliefs, then you look for the stuff that you've done excellent in your own life. Maybe you haven't done a particular field, but if you've done something in another field where you strive for excellence to be your best in that, that now becomes evidence for yourself. So so we can strive either way, and that's what I continue to do throughout my life, whether it's doing a martial arts, doing parkour, learning, continuing to grow, and just being the best that I can be, and showing that you can do it at any age, from young kids to senior citizens. Okay, do you have any questions? Yeah. So let me go ahead and continue in terms of what I've been able to do and learn, and it goes back to, like, martial arts is my foundation, and people heard of different martial arts, and you mentioned
Yes,
kempo.
sir.
Cor-
Mostly, I understand, and one thing, that is believe. And if you want to do something, that you must have to believe on yourself that you can do. It's very informative knowledge from your side. And also, I have I,
I think there's a delay here.
yes, sir. And I have also a question from what you said. Still, so that's why my question from you, mostly people are thinking that they cannot do, and they are not taking any single action. Mostly people are the overthinker. Just they are thinking and they are not taking any action. And before taking any action, they are thinking they will be fail. So how you suggest them to overcome this kind of I think that is a uh, poor mind of them. So that's why how can also I am also saying my father is also from them, because before doing anything, before if I am saying that about the business, and he is just before started he is thinking about the negative things, what business uh, will do for us. And there's many negative things what they are think he is thinking much. And I many times I told him, I said him that you don't think negative, you must be positive. And if we are going to do something, we have to take a risk. If we are thinking there is a harm and benefits, so we can first we have to just think if we have a resources, and we can think just once time think and take an action on this. And my father's not doing this kind of things. So also there are many peoples like him. So that's why what you will suggest for them.
Yeah. So when I think about people that have those negative thoughts, what stems in my own mind is that it's fear. It's fear. Something like if we go back to our ancestors and way in the past, and they had to survive. They had to survive in the wild, and and so they had to like be aware of of maybe a predator uh, getting ready to attack them, or other things getting ready to attack them. So they were always in this survival mode, and that's the only way that they were going to be able to thrive at that period of time. So our brains are essentially the same as it was uh, 1400,000 years ago. We still have the same brains. Now, having said that, we live in a different world. We live in a more modern world today, like with the technology that we have here. But the fear still exists, and that's the reason a lot of people will overthink because they're going into survival mode. So what if something happens? What if I fail? What am I going to do? How am I going to be able to live? All this kind of stuff. Yet it can be changed. I said earlier about really, instead of overthinking, using proper thinking. And there's a lot of different ways of using proper thinking methodology. And and so we all have what are called mental models. So mental models is how we see the world or different particular things. We can develop more effective mental models. And what I say in terms of more effective mental models, so there's one that I use on a regular basis. It's called the 80-20 rule, or otherwise known as the Pareto principle. So what the 80-20 rule is that you find the 20% that will produce 80% of results, and then you filter out the 80% it only produces 20% of results. You can give it to other people to do, or something like that. So that's one example of a mental model. And regarding your father and the fear that he's feeling, um, it's important for him to be able to step back. So if he starts feeling a fear, it's probably happening within his physical body as he's thinking about it. Like again, I said beliefs about the physical body being attacked. The same thing. You start have the same feeling. Um, I know that when I first started doing public speaking on stage, I had a lot of fear. That was like one of the greatest fears of my life. That being on that stage, and and then I discovered later that the same um, uh, chemicals that's in a body, the neurochemicals that's produced that creates fear, including adrenaline and others, it's the same thing that produces excitement. So if you shift your mindset to, oh, I'm scared of doing this, to, I get to do this. I'm excited about doing that. So that's one thing that can be done. So you stop the fear, like they say, stop. You go back. You don't overthink it, because when you overthink it, you're not really thinking. There's a difference between true thinking and overthinking. Overthinking is simply based on fear. It's down in as Daniel Kahneman talks about system one thinking versus system two thinking. So using your rational thinking, you can go back and and say, how can I do this? What processes do I need to be able to go from here to here to here to here? And and uh, me once father's um, thing, his father can now do the same thing. So he should be out there looking for things that will show him how to build a business. So what do I need? Who do I need to learn from? What books do I need? So doing the research and everything like that, and and then find something, learn something, put it into action. Find it, put it in action. That's very important. If you simply read about it or take a course in it without taking action, you're not going to learn anything. So action, um, as he said earlier, is very important. It doesn't have to be a huge action, just one step, one step, one step. And eventually, what whatever fear there was now starts to go down, and excitement will be raised up. And you start to rewire your brain that develops a new habit. And it's been said, uh, neurons or brain cells that fire together wire together. The more you do, it gets bigger and bigger. And now he's going to be effective as a business person. So learn the fundamentals of the business, do practical applications of it, even start small. So again, it doesn't have to be a huge leap in terms of business. Start something small, test it. In fact, there's a thing called minimal viable product. So he can test the waters by developing an MVP, and taking that MVP, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So what's a loss there? Just something small. But if he takes it and and you get people that really like it, then you can start scaling it up, and then you get feedback to develop the minimal viable product, and and make it better and better and better. An example would be what's been known in the software industry. In the software industry, they do the same thing. They come out with first with the initial one, so like software 1.0, and then you get feedback, and then you develop 1.1. So you do that based on that. I mean, like on my Apple, I have it in beta testing. So with each new iteration, it gets sent to me, and I get to give feedback in terms of the new software that's coming out. And that's just software. You can do it in almost in any aspect as well. So, um, using like you can use this stuff that's been developed for software industry in developing a minimal viable product in anything. So using thing, um, called agile. So agile means you get to make adjustments. It's like really fast, and you combine that with the thing called Scrum. So Scrum, you have what's called Scrum teams and everything like that. And I'm not going to get into the details because I think you probably can research those kind of things as well. Yeah, I'm also an agile trainer and a Scrum master, so I continue to learn and to grow. And I've taught entrepreneurs as well. I I was an entrepreneurial trainer and a facilitator. So it's important for for those that want to start businesses. And I've had multiple businesses. Not every one of them were a success, and that's fine because I got to learn. So never take the giant leap from here to here when you're starting a business, but go from incrementals. Again, minimal viable product. You want to create a course, minimal viable course. You want to create a software, that's also like an MVP and so forth. I'm doing that with my SaaS app, coming out with an MVP on that one and taking it to the next level. Same thing with my academies and so forth. Again, start at the minimal level and develop it and step by step, and you continue to get better. So I don't know. So we're at the 21-minute mark, and I think he's back now.
I I really sorry, sir.
Fine.
As you as you know that I already told you, but thank you so much for waiting me, and uh, now I am back, and I think I changed my package, and so that's why maybe it's work for now.
Yes. Did you get what I talked about? I mentioned a
No,
lot
sir.
of things. Yeah.
No, no, sir. Can you repeat again once time that I was questions you about that? I told you that what my father also thinking like that. They are thinking if once time they think he think and just he thinking about the loss, not he thinking about the benefits of anything. So
Yeah.
many are doing this kind of thing thinking, and so tell me just about them that how we can I want to change this kind of mindset, because if I am thinking my positive, do you know that I control my anger? Few years ago, I was very lot of anger person that every time just I cannot explain my angerness, so that's why I work on this that after 2 to 3 years I totally control, and now I never ever is still control in that type that I cannot anger on any person I in my life without if any reason. That's why I cannot. So how can I change my mindset of the other person? So please give me this
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah. So number one, trying to change somebody else's mindset is not something that you would do. It's like your father or other people would want to change their mindset. So they have to want to change. And once you get them to that level where they want to change, including his fear of starting a business, like you wanted to change. You wanted to get rid of the anger, so you took the necessary steps. And in your father's case, um, if he wants to change, then he will change. And so it's getting him from from the fear to the want to change. And anybody that wants to change, they usually start with a why. Why do I want to change? What's the
Why?
necessary? What benefits is going to get me to change this fear mindset? Uh, and one of the best ways to get people to have that shift is not using logic at the beginning, because people have a hard time with logic. More important, it's using, like, connecting with him emotionally, like stories and everything like that. And one of the things, like, if you look at the youngest kids, you look at like a 4-year old, a 5-year old, those 4 and 5-year olds, you'll see them doing stuff that adults are scared to do. They'll go out and a challenge and they'll go and speak to other adults and everything until they're taught by adults, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. But kids are fearless, youngest
Mm,
kids. We learn how to fear things. We learn all these other kind of things. We learn how not to be creative anymore. All that is taught to us as we go through this life. In fact, there's been research has shown um, that you take a young kid and they're like 95% creative. By the time they get to be an adult at 18, 19, 20 years old, they're only 5% creative. 5%. They go on the opposite end. Only 5% of adults are creative, even though we should all be creative, but we're taught not to be creative. We're taught how to fear not to do certain things. You get a kid and you have a young child and and you nurture that child, say, okay, you can start your own business, you can do whatever you want. Guess what? They're going to experiment. They're going to test the waters. They're going to go out there. They're going to create their own minimal viable product. You know what an MVP is, right?
yes,
So
sir.
they're going to create. So they're going to create their own VP, and so it could be like here in the States, it might be a lemonade stand. It could be anything. I remember seeing these kids in Las Vegas and they were getting these rocks. They had these rocks and they had like Las Vegas painted and all this kind of stuff on it. And they had it in a little wagon and they had a sign up and they were saying like Las Vegas souvenirs. And these were kids selling souvenirs on the street in Las Vegas. And so they were painting their own rocks and everything like that. And I helped them with their sign because they weren't selling very many. And all of a sudden they just sold out, like genuine Las Vegas souvenirs, painted original souvenirs. And I raised the price from $1 to $5 per stone. And they sold out because it's just a shift in that. But the kids were not scared. Kids were not scared. Adults are scared to start something. So in your
Mm,
father's case, he needs to go back to being like that kid again, and 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 all the kind of the chatter in his mind, like you can't do this, you can't do that. He didn't create that. That stemmed from somebody when he was younger. Some adult told him you can't do that. And I don't know what like his parents were like or other adults around him, but we're
yeah.
taught by the adults in our life to act a certain way and everything. And it could be that your father has stemmed from that. He may have seen other people around and he's developed that fear. So it's important for him to, number one, embrace that child again. And number two, start small. Find something small where he's not going to lose much of anything except for time, like creating a minimal viable product, like a kid starting a lemonade stand. Out here, people want to start like building a restaurant, right, as an example. And a restaurant has a very low margin. So restaurants will come in and they'll go out all the time because you don't make much money. But what's a minimal viable way of starting something if you want to have a restaurant? Out here, they have food trucks. People would have their own little restaurant in this big van. So very low overhead costs. All they just paying initially for the food truck, and then they're going to go out and make their money. So in essence, they have a minimal viable restaurant that's on wheels, so they can go anywhere, and it can start small with anything, and find something that your father likes. Have him start small. He doesn't. Again, he may be thinking like big and have to invest a lot of money in starting a business and all this and that. No, start something small. Even online, it really doesn't matter. Now, how old is your father?
Uh, sir, he's a 60 now.
Okay. Yeah. Uh, in his case, he's still young. He can still go out and just go and experiment. Again, he's got to embrace that. The third thing is have him get involved with other like business people. Instead of being surrounded by other people who are not business, go and talk and associate with business people. It's been said that we are the sum average. We're the average of the 5 people we associate with the most. So he needs to find among these 5 people at least maybe 2 or even 3 people that are business people, and have him talk to those business people, not all these other people, but people who've been running businesses. So he needs to be with them, and it doesn't matter the age. They could be younger. I don't care. It could be older, younger, or and everybody, even people his age, like me. One of the things that keeps me going, I have a lot of friends that are much younger. They're starting new things that didn't exist like when I was their age. But because I'm associating with them, it's like been amazing. And I have a lot of friends like that are in their 20s and 30s. In fact, most of my friends are in their 20s and 30s because a lot of people my age have now starting to die out or everything like that, or they're retired. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to grow. And so I don't want to be around that. I want to be around like more fresh mindsets and everything. And so I enjoy it. Like you're pretty young. I like being around you too, because you
Yes,
have this enthusiasm and so forth. And your dad should be associating with you more too.
yes, sir. And you gave me an answer what I was expect from you. So that's why, and I had learned a lot. Start small, start with the small, and engage my father with among the people who are a businessman, and also there are a lot of things I learned from you, and I want to learn from you more because for methods, I am enjoying very so much because you have a you are unique method. So that's why so many
Thank you.
people. Do you know? I am a one person from my area, even in my district, who is doing this kind of thing. Otherwise, people don't know. And even you know that I am not any fluent English speaker, but I am trying to speak, and I want to learn and communicate in English because my uh, once time I learned I did many courses. That's I am an expert in SEO, search engine optimization, YouTube automation, and once time I realized that these courses are not beneficial for me because I have not any communication skills. Because there, I realized that if you are doing any you have expert in cybersecurity you are expert in artificial intelligence data science what who are you because there's one thing who will build you there is a communication skill after that after realizing this thing that I work on communication I try to speak because uh, as you already know that we have to work with foreigner peoples we have to dive in the marketplace who of the USA UK or the other places Portugal many but at a foreign place and Upwork freelancer.com and also Fiverr there are many uh, the clients from the foreign so that's why this thing when I realized I totally drive myself I work on myself on communication I am working also I'm practicing my courses but my priority is now that is communication without this my courses are zero I cannot do anything I only just I can blogging because there's no involvement of the clients or the other person so uh, I was thinking that you have to uh, earn not earn money you have to earn the people if you will earn people money will comes to you so that's why I am working on this thing and I am changing my mindset I am learning communication skills languages so today I am also learning from you and you new ideas from you. Thank you so much for your giving time and also uh, facing by this kind of network problems. So, sir, as you are working on the sauce product Mastery X, you are building this sauce product. What is the reason and behind this, and what is the story behind this, and what are the work of this sauce product? Just explain me because I want to know.
Yeah, so a, a lot of people have approached me on gaining mastery in a given subject, whether it's like speaking, public speaking, or in the area of fitness, of learning languages, um, running a business, doing a martial arts like I do, all these kind of things. And I said, well, I can't teach all these different subjects and everything, and it's very difficult. So I started doing some research in terms of how do people gain mastery? What's a process that people go through? What's a step by step and everything like that? And so I decided that I want to be able to teach it where people can learn any subject at all. So I was thinking maybe I should create a bunch of courses and find experts and bring experts in to teach. And and the thing is, with somebody who's a true expert, they may have forgotten what it took to start. In fact, like example is like a professional basketball player. A professional basketball player can't explain to somebody who's just starting playing basketball how do they do it because they're so high level, they're way up there that they can't think what is it that the step by step process that I used when I first started when I was a kid. That's all gone. They haven't started. And most high level people are that way as well. I've been that way too. So what what is that way? So after doing the research and everything, I decided I'm going to take that knowledge and and so I went into ChatGPT. I created a prompt based on all the knowledge and everything, what it takes to master any skill. So based on that, it and and going like step by step, like and so it came out and I had an excellent ChatGPT where I was able to do it. And I said, okay, I can take this information utilizing the API from ChatGPT and other APIs and start building a SaaS product where people can now enroll and type in, okay, like I want to learn this skill. So they'll start off with the very basics. So it would like ask questions, what level are you at now? Then it would test a person. Then it would go through the process as as it suggests, okay, this is what you're going to do, and then it would have access to already developed videos online of people doing the same thing, or even creating its own video content, or other things that it can do. So it would now the person will look at this kind of stuff and then do the same thing. So this person up here, Coach John Wooden, he was a coach of the UCLA basketball team that won 10 NCAA championships, 10 of them in a 12-year period. And he was the same way. So he started right from the basics of what they needed to do to be able to get to be excellent, to become champions. And so in order for us to be champions, we cannot jump from here. So going from here, learning these skills, developing, then master. In the United States, our educational system is not developed for mastery. It's developed so mostly taking tests, but it's not skill development. It's not learning how to learn. It's not anything like that. They take people through like a grade system and they move everybody up here to the next one. You may have a few people that may be at the top and few people that may be at the bottom, but they're all moving at the same time. So mastery is not developed. A long time ago, when people would go in and You have a master, and a person would apprentice under the master to develop skills, and they can't move up to the next level till they master this level. They have to master each level before they move next level, next level, next level, next level, till they become so they can become the master itself. So that's what the SaaS product Mastery X is about, mastering each level to eventually you become the master. And it tests at each level, and it gives you assignments, all these kind of things. You actually have to go out and take action. You cannot just take a test like a regular test, because that doesn't master. Yes, there will be testing, but also to be actionable tests outside so that you can actually master whatever you learn.
Thank you so much, sir. It means your whole things will be in one app. Am I right?
Yes,
Yes. Oh, okay. It will also you as you said that it is very typical that one by one to teach the other peoples and every courses. So this one app can bring more changes for the people and more uh, valuable for the people, and because it is very will be user friendly, and user can also work and do their courses according to him. That will be amazing app, and this is very amazing SaaS product. Sir, my next question from you, if you have a time, can I ask you?
sure.
Okay, okay, sir. uh, you also worked on hypnosis and also there is a psychology. So how to understand the psychology of the people? Also, there's one book I want to read now, that psychology of money. So you are also working on this thing.
Yes, I do have the psychology of money around here somewhere. Yeah,
Okay.
I know the book you're
They,
talking about.
yes, and you, I want to know about the how to know the psychology of the people, how and what is hypnosis. Both terms I request you to tell me.
Okay, so I'll start with psychology. I'm going to bring in
Yes.
some neuroscience in it, and then the hypnosis part. Okay, so
Ye-
being able to understand people, that's something that even the ancient philosophers have looked at and so forth, and we have a lot of different areas of psychology. From social psychology is probably the biggest part. Clinical psychology, which I've
Clinical.
studied. I mean, my PhD is in clinical psychology, and also my second one is in neuropsychology, but I also studied social psychology as well. And so being able to understand people, number one, look at where they're at. What environment are they in? Because people will shift based on the environment and who they're around. As I told you earlier about your father going and finding other people to associate with, like business people, the more he does that, it's going to shift his psychology, and he becomes a different person when he does that more and more and more. So the father that you knew before that was scared, eventually that's going to go away and being replaced by a different father, a different version of self. So in understanding each individual, you want to look at, okay, what is it that um, they've been through in terms of their own life and everything. Like understanding your father, look at who influenced him, especially when he was younger, and this is where like hypnosis is kind of related to that. Uh,
It's
so
psychology.
yeah, so hypnosis itself is and people like think like when they watch movies, all this kind of stuff, and the hypnotist will come up and control the person and so forth. No, we are always being hypnotized.
Hmm.
Now do you watch movies? Do you watch movies on TV or something like that?
I think 5 years ago. Now I am not watching movies. I am just focusing on my learning.
Okay. Do you watch sports?
What?
Sports, like
It's-
football or something like that, or anything.
So,
So
I sometimes when I feel that not good, so that's why in on that time I'm watching a comedy
comedy.
because
Okay,
huh,
let's start with comedy. So when you're watching comedy and it starts making you feel a certain way, right? And you get drawn into watching the comedy.
yes,
You almost forget everything that's around you, and you're like
yes,
engaged with the
yes,
comedy. Yeah,
yes, yeah,
you're in a hypnotic state at that point in time. So you like let like your rational thinking go, and you're just completely engaged into the comedy, and it's making you feel a certain way and everything like that. So the comedy, in a sense, has grabbed you, and 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 now you're almost like in emotional control by the comedy because you're so drawn into it. Hypnosis works the same way. I've done stage hypnosis and also clinical hypnotherapy, and it's all about suspending beliefs and everything, just allowing the process, the flow, to go on. And others have used similar techniques as a stage hypnotist. For example, you ever hear of Tony Robbins?
yes. Tony Robbins. I
So
have a book.
yeah, so Tony Robbins, when he gets up there on stage, he uses the same kind of hypnotic control of his audience as I did as a stage hypnotist, the same exact process. I met Tony Robbins back before he was known, back in the early 1980s, and he's a big tall guy and
Yes,
everything like
yes,
that. And so we had conversations because he started with Jim Rohn, who I knew Jim Rohn as well, and Jim Rohn was Tony Robbins' first teacher. And and like me and Jim, we've actually spoke on the same stage before, and the same venue. But Tony Robbins, so we started talking about NLP when I met him, and I started studying NLP, linguistic programming, back in 1980. Now, in software development, there's another NLP called natural language processing. That's not. They're both different kind of NLPs. So I became an NLP master trainer, and so I started talking to Tony with that, and we had talked like with Richard Bandler and John Grinder and everybody else regarding those areas, and so I noticed him starting like he's having a shift, and then he was using a lot of hypnotic techniques, and later he would do it like when he had these large audience. To this day, he's using music in the background. I use music as a stage hypnotist, and he's having the audience do certain things. He comes up and he raises his arms up. He gets the audience to raise their arms up. As a stage hypnotist, I would have the audience to do certain things, and to test their suggestibility. If they do it, the more they do those things that I tell them to do, the more suggestible that I know that they are, and I see them getting excited. Their emotions, they change and all this kind of stuff. Tony Robbins do the same things. A lot of churches will do the same thing as well, and so forth. So people, um, we are easily controlled in terms of those kind of things. We can so in the area of psychology, there's this thing called priming. So in hypnosis, I use priming, and priming is simply um, having things be on a subconscious level that uh, that will get people to nudge to do a certain thing. So, for example, uh, there's people like Darren Brown who's out of the UK, and he used priming a lot, and basically he would like get people in. He practiced mentalism, and you've heard of a mentalist, right?
yes,
Okay. So mentalism, they use priming quite a bit, and being able to read people, their body language and all this kind of stuff, and micro expressions in a face, and in a body and everything. So one example of Darren Brown using priming, because he would have people coming into the audience, but they would be waiting outside um, on the street before doors open to get the audience in. And so so one example he gave, he had people, let's like one lady walking down up and down a street and walking a golden retriever. So the dog, the golden retriever, she'd be walking a dog up and down. Then when people came in, he had like movie posters of like movies that had golden retrievers in it on a wall, and all the way down. And then he had like um, other things that would say retrieve or retriever, like signs and things that was golden and all these kind of things. All these kind of things prime the audience. So once he got the audience in, and he would pick somebody out of the audience that he um, maybe somebody told him like this lady may be more suggestible. So he would like pick out somebody and say, okay, you. I want you to think about a dog, and I'm going to try to guess what kind of dog you're thinking about. And then he would continue the priming, and he would say, I want you to retrieve that dog out of your memory. So that's another prime. He's
Mm,
already been primed multiple times. I want you to retrieve, and 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 he would have things like maybe showing something that's golden or something like that in the background, or all these kind of things. And he says, um, you're thinking about a golden retriever. And she's, oh my gosh, how did you know? How could you guess? Like that. It was all primed into the brain. We're being primed by our environment all the time. We go out shopping, we're being primed. We're watching television, we're being primed, whether it's through the movies, whether it's advertisements or anything. On the internet, we're being primed. Going on YouTube, we're being primed all the time. And the internet actually knows like what you watch and all this kind of stuff. Then it primes you with like ads that we're throwing out that think that you're gonna, and then you try to figure out, why did I buy this? Why did I buy that? You were primed to buy it. So human nature, we are always acting with a lot of primes, being nudged, do this, do that, do that. It's so subtle. We don't even realize we're doing it. And even myself, I understand all this. I understand that the psychology and the neuroscience behind priming. And guess what? I still get primed. I still will do things. Why why did I buy this? Why did I buy that? So it happens all the time.
yes,
Amazon.com is a great priming tool as well.
yes, sir. Uh, Today I learned from you the meaning of hypnotize. So many times ago I tried to learn from this term. So I understand clearly. You told me that when we are watching movie, it means that we are watching we are forgetting everything around us, and just we are focusing. It means our focus and forget. Forget means that we don't uh, focus on the other things around us. So
Correct.
that is a hypnotized, and
Yes.
I
Focus,
really
concentration, very important part. Yes.
very important point, and
Hmm.
that's very I like the way you uh, teach me, and I like the way you explain those things, and I got all things, and I learned from you a lot today. I want to request you that can we podcast? Can we make the series on this type of things and on the
Yeah, I think he'd probably say like, can he use the content and everything? Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think he kind of froze here, but absolutely. You know, I don't mind. You know, this stuff has already been put out there anyway, and it's, I'm just bringing my own personal thoughts and everything into the kind of stuff that I produce and everything that I talk about, including being interviewed and so forth. So yeah, absolutely use it, and just go and grow and help others out as well. And I mentioned about priming. You can also use priming to get people to buy your own products, your own services. And I'm still here. So I hope people are still around and waiting for Mewing to come back. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this time with me being on his show. And I think he's back now. Let's Okay, you're back.
Yes, sir. I want to request you that I want to make the series on these topics. So maybe if I can learn from you a lot, and your method is I inspired from your method, and I want to make the series on this podcast. Maybe if you have a time, give me a once in a week or quarter in a month or two time in a month. What you have to decide this thing, it's up to you, sir.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about this. We can communicate like over Messenger or WhatsApp, like that. Do that on a regular basis. Yeah,
Okay.
I would be happy to.
Thank you so much, sir. And I will make it. Do you know I mentioned or not? I am currently head of uh, Global Abundance Organization. We made this organization a non-profitable organization that we want to peace, and we want to people that mindset of the people in that way. They have their own way of thinking. They have to do things. They have to make the difference from the others. And my am according to me that I want to make the people to teach technology or the use AI technology to remove the poverty from the whole world, because there are many in my Pakistan and my villager area, there are many people who are suffering from that. And also not my area, many in every country there are many situations are having, but in my country and also the every place in my country, uh, people are suffering from this. So I decided to I also learned these things, and I also working on these things, and I decide to remove the poverty from the world. And there's one thing that AI can do this now. And
Correct.
if the people will use AI and use the AI and make the content, you are making the create be a creator on the YouTube, or working on the other courses, learn the courses, and maybe to have the chance to earn the money from and get the financial freedom. So this is my
Correct.
aim for the future, and I want to do this for people.
Good. And by the way, you can start with your father and teach him AI and stuff. He's not too old to learn it. If I can do it, he
Yes,
can do it.
yes. I am not only teaching the elders, but I am also started from the kids of my niece, who is 4 years old, and
Okay.
she started the using of AI. She used the tools like call any Sesame AI, and she is learning from the English from these those uh, tools. And also she is asking for the storytelling and listening story from these, and it help him to talk and dive into the AI.
Awesome. Yeah, I think he'll if he's open to it, I think he'll do wonderful.
Yes,
And that's real important. Being open is very important.
yes. She's 4 years old, and also once day
See,
I was sleeping, and she opened my uh, cupboard, and also take out laptop and started to use the started open my phone and use Wi-Fi, also connected hotspot with laptop, and started to use and open Google, and just she started on the voice search, because she cannot
wow,
type now. And she started the voice search, and she used, and I when I was awake, and I was just looking to her, uh, what she's doing. I was shocked in that time. She had very interest in this field.
Yeah, she's gonna do the young kids because AI is gonna be part of normal part of their life.
Yes,
And as AI gets better and robotic technologies with AI,
yes,
I know that Boston Dynamics with their latest robots have now adapted. I believe they have one of the fastest um, NVIDIA chips built into um, that's being used in their latest robot, that
yes,
it's now has AI working with the robot, and eventually that robot's going to just be like an individual compact and still be able to connect to Wi-Fi via the internet, but still it's now going to end up like processing and learning and everything like that. And I think, wow, your niece, that's going to be normal. She's going to see all these robots and talking robots and everything like that as she gets older.
yes, sir. Of course, and she will do in because she is doing this kind of things now, and she also will do, and she is just just 4 years old and doing this thing. I think these are the beta generations of the kids now, and they are the more strong, more intelligent than ours are the uh, elder people. So
Yeah, yeah,
they
she's
can
gonna
break the world. They can break the world.
yes. I mean, you think about, like, the world of the future, and did you see like, what Kawasaki is thinking about, like, the envisioning a
Yes,
world, and they have that robot where you can sit on like a motorcycle and then jump
yes.
and everything like that. So, that may be the world she's coming into.
So you are talking about that the horse, horse that the China
The horse, yeah,
started. Yes,
yes. So you ride it like that, but
yes,
you can
right
control it
like
like
that.
yeah, so you control like with the horse, almost like a motorcycle combination, but it can
Yes,
run and jump and all that kind of stuff. And
jumping and
yeah, I mean that's what I want. I would like to do that. I would like
they
to do that.
they 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 are enjoying the ride of the horse, and
Hmm.
mostly I think 100% it is doing like that because it's jumping, it's running way, and the other features are like the original. So that's amazing. They
Yeah,
started and launched this type of robot.
yeah. I see everything changing. I see like robots in a home, like senior citizens here in the United States. They send them to like like um, uh, places, where they end up dying and everything like that. Imagine that's never going to happen again. Imagine having a robot in your house that can diagnose you and then make a call like to emergency, or it can even administer like you're having a heart attack, can come in and then do a shock to your heart, something like that to get it started. It would actually be able to diagnose and evaluate your own body, and this will be um, um, like having that on a regular basis. And I envision that as part of the future as well. So you have your own robotic healthcare, like a doctor, nurse kind of thing in your home, and it'll be able to do all this stuff until you get to an actual hospital where you have other robots or doctors operating robots and operating on you and everything like that. So yeah, so I think senior citizens, older people, um, in the future will probably have those kind of advantages and so forth. So I'm seeing all this kind of stuff that we don't have now, but I just envision it.
Yes, and you also watch some clips from the Microsoft CEO, Bill Gates, and Elon Musk, uh, and other the ChatGPT CEO who is Sam Altman. They
Same
they
Altman.
already they already told us that AI replaced the doctors, and it is doing already doing this kind of thing, and AI will totally replace because the AI can diagnose it more than doctors, real doctors,
Correct.
and also robotic systems of the robots can operate, and the other things they can do very clearly.
Correct.
Mostly, and nowadays, uh, like the stone in gallbladders or the other things, they are laser technology and the robotic system, they can do everything and operate these things. So I think they are right. And after 1 to 2 years or the 5 years, AI will totally replace the doctors. And doctors are also who will know the AI, they can be save their jobs. Otherwise, I think AI totally replace them.
Yeah, I actually had taught a couple of doctors, and they were like in their 30s, and I taught them how to use. I taught them some prompt engineering, how to make prompts that they can use to help with diagnosis, and they started using it with their
Yes.
patients. Yeah, and same thing in with lawyers, the same way.
Sam
Before,
is, you know,
yep, yep,
because
lawyers,
because AI have everything. They have more knowledge. They have I think real scenario case. There was a child. I think he was from Pakistan or from the other country. I watched the news. Uh, Many times ago, they suffering from any disease, and doctors still not diagnosis their reports and other things they gave to the AI, and AI diagnose their disease. So now
yeah,
you can we also can analyze it and what we are thinking about the AI
correct,
and what AI is doing for us.
correct, yes. AI has less biases than a doctor. Doctors will bring in their own
Yes,
biases and everything, and because of that, they may make an inaccurate diagnosis, especially if they don't understand new research that has come out,
yes,
whereas AI can
yes, sir.
find research and everything. Yep, yep.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Uh, a lot of things, well, not thank you so much, a lot of things, your time, your I had learned from you a lot. And I also already told you that I want to make the series of the podcast with you, because every you can change the people, your mindset, your the way of teaching. And I am also inspired from you, because I today, more time, I listen every word clearly, and I noted it, and I had learned a lot from you. And I want to that after that I request you that you we can make the podcast series on this topic, because people have need of this kind of thing. Not they mostly they are focusing on just the courses or the other things, but their mindset is not clear now, and they are doing more things at once time. So it is very important for this, that not only health is very important, and your mindset training, your I think your gymnastic or the yoga, this kind of training or other things, which also will be available in the Mastery X SaaS based product. This will help the people, and your own talk, your own methods. I appreciate, and it's honor for me that you are having in front of me, and I learned a lot from you, sir. Thank you so much once again.
Likewise, and,
You
and and thank you
you
as well. Thank you for having me on.
thank you so much, sir, for your time. And now I will get permit and from you, and I already take a lot of time from you. So now we have to end the podcast, and I will request you at the end. You have to just few lines for my audience, that how about the mindset and the what you want to say. It is message for them to maybe your one line or the single words uh, make their life change.
Yeah, I think the overall theme of all this, even going back to your 4-year-old niece, is to go back to your younger self and embrace that. Embrace the truth that that young self had for learning and curiosity. And when you can do that,
Sure.
you can grow at any age. At 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 18 years old, at 30 years old, at 60 years old, at 80 years old, and you continue that and and be that way your whole life.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much. Thank you so much. Uh,
You're welcome.
so my audience and who's watching us, thank you so much also for you. And it is our podcast, and he is Mr. Sir, can you pronounce your name?
Yeah, Bob Choat.
Bob Choat.
Yep.
Okay. He's Bob Choat. He your mind in your.
And again, technology, this is what happens with technology. It's happened to me many times as well. So yeah, Wi-Fi streaming and so forth. Uh, yeah, eventually this will be ironed out when things are developed even better. So just let you know that, and I want to thank you for having me on. And it's been an honor, and it's been fun for me too. Just to let you know. So thanks.
Okay, we are ending our podcast, and after that, maybe we started our podcast series, and you have to listen.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get out, and I do have another business to take care of.